Go back to your map. What did he want them to do? They're in Etam. V'yashuvu. I want them to go back. V'yachanu. And I want them to camp by Piachiros. You see it, those two little black towers. In front of the idol Baal Zephon. Between Migdol, that little triangle, which was a tower, Egyptian like fortress tower, military tower, right? And Yam and the water. Right opposite the idol Baal Zephon, back to exactly where they were. Now that's stupid. Why are they going backwards, close in Egypt, trapped by the water? Oh, because we're setting up an ambush for Pharaoh. Go back to the verses. The Yamar Parla they say, all Pharaoh's going to say about the Jewish people, Nevuchim Hein Baris, they're lost in the land. They don't know where they're going. Sagarli, I'm in the deserts, lock them in. Look what they're doing. They're going backwards. They're parked right in front of my idol. So Chizakti slave Pharaoh, Vadaf, Acharem, and the heart of Pharaoh, and he's going to chase after them. Because of a Pharaoh, B'chol Kelo, and I will overpower Pharaoh and his entire army. The other Mitzrayim, K'ani Hashem, and all Egypt will know that I am God. Doesn't say how he's going to do it. We know, that's supposed to see, but doesn't say how he's going to do it. That's what's going to happen. Did the Jews agree to do this crazy plan? Yes, they did. V'ya'asu chein, they did it. And Rashi points out in the verse V'ya'asu chein, if you have your Rashi, in the Hebrew it's right about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines down. In the English it's wherever it is. V'ya'asu chein, and they did it. Lahagid shvachad, this tells us their praise. Sheshamu l'kol Moshe, they listened to the voice of Moshe. V'lo amur, they didn't say, what are you, nuts? You want us to get closer to those that are chasing us? I don't just give them a throw off, we have to run away. They didn't say that. El amur, they said, okie dokie. And leno el adifrei ben Amram. Whatever the son of Amram says, we're going to do. Because the verse didn't have to say the words V'yasu, say that they did it. If you read the rest of the story, it's clear that's what they did. So as I said, they did it. Read the rest of the story, you'll see they did it. So the Torah stresses they did it, meaning, and they did it. Even though they knew that it was seemingly suicidal, they did it because we're going to overpower Pharaoh. This is the plan. This is the ambush. 3 days. It's the whole point. That's the whole trick. So now we're really going to get him. So we lied to him about 3 days, and we took the money, and because we know they're going to chase us. Now we're going to really get him to chase us. Because they're going to think that militarily we're a mess, and that we're lost, and we're parked in front of his idol, and we've gone backwards. So he's really going to think it's an easy thing, just go back and smash him and get him, and it's going to be a great miracle. They agreed to do it. It's a great ambush. This is the plan. It's what we've been waiting for.
So they knew.
They knew. By Asafin, they agreed to do it. Well, so now let's continue the story. Verse 5. Of course, this is the punchline. I only have 12 minutes. How does that happen to me? The king of Egypt was told that the nation escaped. Problem with that phrase?
No.
What?
He sent them out.
What do you mean he was told they escaped? He sent them out. He got up in the middle of the night, right? What does the kids' tape say? Pharaoh got up wearing what in the middle of the night? Pajamas, right? Pajamas in the middle of the night, right? That's no source for that. But the kids' tape, right? All my ninth graders do, pajamas in the middle of the night. Does it say that in the Bible? No, it says on the tape. Thank you very much. Okay, right? The Pharaoh did say he got up in the middle of the night. I guess he was wearing pajamas, right? But it did say he got up in the middle of the night, and he said, get out, we're all going to die, right? They chased him out, no one, right? Pharaoh was told, hey, guess what, they escaped. What do you think? They escaped. So he changed his mind. And he said, what do we do? What do we do that we send them out? Bad idea. Never should have done it. Let's go get them. So of course the first one is, what do you mean he was told that they escaped? So just about everybody learns the same. We're going to do it outside. I apologize. We only have 10 minutes left. Rashi says it. A lot of people say it. Right? There's other explanations. We'll stick with Rashi, but I'll use the same idea. Remember Rabbi Sai. The simple reading of the story is that when Pharaoh sent them out, what did he assume he was sending them out for? For 3 days. Says the Medrash, he sent people with them to make sure they were going to come back. It's a 3-day journey. 3 days are up, and what are they doing? They ain't coming back. They're sitting there by the water saying, forget it. We ain't going nowhere. We're just sitting right here by the water. We're not coming back. Hey, everybody, get trees up, let's go, everybody, go back, go, everybody, let's go back. Like, why don't you, disrupt that? Right? So they went back and they told Paro, the nation's escaping. So it's not escaping, they're like not coming back. No problem with that shot, but it's close. Right? Most people learn that way. That's where you gain. Who asked about what did Paro send them out? If you say he sent them out for just 3 days, that's what you gain. Right? If you say he sent them out forever, then what does it mean they were escaping? He sent them out. Right? But if you say he went out for 3 days, it means, so he was told that the nation's escaping. They're not keeping their deal of the 3 days. Not to mention the fact they have the gold and silver. Not to mention the fact that they're lost anyways because they're stuck by the water. They'd gone backwards because the people were traveling with them. So they went backwards in the water by the idol. Nuts, right? And therefore, he's on this. Vav. So he harnessed his chariot. When he took his nation with him, he took 600 chosen chariots, all the chariots of Egypt, and officers over all the chariots. It got hard and hard of power, the king of Egypt. And he chased after the Jewish people. Were the Jews afraid? Nah. B'nai Yisrael, you see, B'yad Ramah, the Jews left with high hand. They were strong. They were confident. It's an ambush, man. They don't care. Right? Come and get us. Go. You and what army, man? All right? You come and get us. Go ahead. So far, so good? So far, so good. Verse 9. And Egypt chased after them. So let's start right away with problems. What's the problem with those 3 words? Egypt chased after them.
They're not running, they're sitting there.
Compare verse 8 to the beginning of verse 9. God doesn't get paid by the word. In verse 8, what are we told? God hardened Pharaoh's heart, and
He chased after them.
He chased after them. Verse 9 begins with the words, Egypt chased after them. He just said Pharaoh chased after them. Why say it again for? You want to start with the words Vaisigotam, they caught up to them? Okay. Start with the words, they caught up to them. Look, verse 8. God hardened Pharaoh's heart, Israel, and he chased after the Jewish people. Jewish people have their hands up high, they're not nervous about this. Verse 9 should start, Vaisigotam, and they caught up to them, camped by the sea. What do you need to repeat the words they chased after them again? A. B. In verse 8, to whom is ascribed the chasing? Pharaoh. In verse 9, to whom is ascribed the chasing? Mitzrayim. Keep on going. In verse 10, Paro Hikriv. Who gets close up to them? Paro. So to whom is ascribed the chasing? We've gone back to Paro. Continue verse 10. The Jewish people looked up, and who did they see chasing them? Mitzrayim. So why don't we keep on switching? Verse 8 is Paro chased them. And 9 it says Egypt's chasing them. In 10, Paro caught up to them. And in 10 it says they looked up and they saw Egypt. Either call it all the time Paro, as the leader of the country, you could do that, right? Whatever, Hannibal, right? Obviously not Hannibal himself, but right? Whatever, right? Or call Egypt. Why do you keep on switching? One major problem. The other problem, as we said, is why in verse 9 does it repeat the phrase Egypt chased after them? It already said Pharaoh's chasing them. I don't need those words. I need to start with the words that caught up to them. Bigger problem. Verse 9, the syntax is horrific. Egypt chased after them, and caught up to them. So who chased after who? Egypt chased after the Jews, and caught up to the Jews while the Jews were by the water. Correct? You all agree so far? All the horses of Paro and the chariots. That is a phrase describing what? The guys who are camped or the guys who are doing the chasing? The guys doing the chasing. So, Al Piachiros of name Balsafon. By Piachiros in front of the idol Balsafon. That's described the guys chasing or where the Jews were camped. That's where the Jews were camped. So the syntax is crazy. Egypt chased them and caught up to them by the water. Then it says again, all the horses of Paro, but that's what you just said. Egypt chased them. Now you're giving me the details. So put it all together. All the horses of Paro chased them and caught up to them by the water, by Piachiros, in front of the idol. Do you see how the syntax is skewed there? Right? And again, in verse 10, Paro gets close. And then the Jewish people lifted up guns and they looked, and there's Egypt chasing them. Why switch from Paro to Egypt? And the biggest problem, what should be the Jewish people's reaction when they look up and see that Paro and the army is chasing them? What should they say?
The trap is closed.
Yippee! Here they come! Yahoo! It worked, suckers! That's what they should have said. Go ahead, guys, get him! Good. Here goes. Watch. If you really pay attention, watch it. Come on, you guys keep on coming. That was the whole point. It worked. It worked. They were told, you guys go back. I'm going to hunt Pharaoh's heart. He's going to chase them. We're going to wipe him out. And they said, they did it. Okay, we're going to do that. Yad Rama. Hey, here it comes. Yahoo! And what do they say? What's their reaction? Oh, your mother, very afraid. What are they afraid? It was the whole plan. What are they afraid? It's Israel, Hashem, they got Hashem, we're all going to die. What's everybody afraid about? It was the whole plan. This is the whole plan. How can they be afraid? That's the famous problem with this section.
It's a tremendously human reaction.
So some answer is, you're right. The plan is the plan. So they see Egypt, they go, oh, Egypt, we don't like this idea. That is your standard general answer. They're all pumped up, they're all pumped up, they're all pumped up. When it's push comes to shove, we're really there. We don't want to do this. That's your standard answer. Rashi uses a midrashic answer, and when it says, behold, they looked up and they saw Egypt chasing them, he says it refers to really the angel of Egypt chasing them. Because there's another problem. If you look in the Hebrew, it's singular. We name it Mitzrayim Noseya. It should be Noseim. Egypt is constantly being referred to in the plural. Vayidufu Mitzrayim, Vayasibu. All plural verbs relating to the nation of Egypt. Here they looked up and they saw Mitzrayim. It should be Noseim, continuing the plural verb. Why the singular? They saw the angel of Egypt. Of course, that's midrashic with angel. If you do or don't want to do it. Says the Malbim, watch this in 5 minutes. I cannot say from our 5-minute Malbim, watch this. Says the Malbim like this. Go back to the verses, go back to verse, let's say, 6. Let's go 5. So you got the Melchizedek, the king of Egypt, told the nation to escape. And the heart of Pharaoh and his servants changed, and they said, what did we do? Then we sent the Jews out. It's Pharaoh and his ministers have a change of heart. Vayasar et Rechbo, Pharaoh harnessed his personal chariot, Viet Amo and his nation. What do you mean his nation? What a funny term. He took the whole nation to go, what, men, women, children? Amo means his personal little palace guard he took with him. Because he doesn't need the whole army, because they're lost. The Jews are messed up. I don't need the army. Me and my palace guard, we can do this. He took 600 chariots. And all the other chariots around, but not the infantry, not the army, just chariots. And officers on every chariot, that's it. Verse 8, got hard in the heart of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. He, Pharaoh, chased after the Jewish people, just himself and his little palace guard. Were the Jews really lost? No. It was an ambush. Jewish people had their hands up high. They weren't afraid at all. The Egyptian army found that out, realized that Pharaoh, their king, and the palace guard is heading into an ambush. Verse 9, Vayidufu Mitzrayim acharehem. The Egyptian army chased after Pharaoh and his palace guard to help them because they realized that the Jews have their hands up high and it's an ambush.
So why are you trying to be singular?
No, this is the plural. Vayidufu Mitzrayim acharehem. Vayasigu otam. And the Egyptian army caught up to Pharaoh and his palace guard while they were by the water. And now it explains, all the horses and the chariots of Pharaoh, this is who they caught up to, now Pharaoh, Hikri. Pharaoh, of course, is still in the front. So you got the water, the Jews, Pharaoh and his palace guard, and the Egyptian army. So Pharaoh, Hikri. Pharaoh is getting closer to the Jews because he's the closest one. And the Jews lifted up their eyes, because the Bible says, what a funny phrase, who needs that? The Jews look, and if Pharaoh's right behind them, they just looked and they see him. No, they lifted up their eyes, because what did they want to see? Vihine, and surprisingly, Mitzrayim, the entire Egyptian army, Noseya, is traveling Acharim behind Pharaoh and his palace guard. And was that the original deal? What was the original deal? Who was going to be chasing them? What did the verse say very clearly? Then Pharaoh. I will harden Pharaoh's heart. and he will chase after you, and I will overpower Pharaoh and his personal army. The Jews understood that it was just going to be Pharaoh and his palace guard who was going to be chasing. So when they looked up and they saw that Acharehem, behind Pharaoh and his palace guard, is the entire Egyptian army, they said, "Whoa, that wasn't part of the deal. That's not what we were expecting." And they got afraid, and they screamed, and they cried, and that's not funny. Now what's going to happen? Whoa, how are you going to get rid of all them? And they screamed and they cried, and Moshe said, "Just stand still. You will see God will save you." So says the Malbim, there were two different groups, and that's why it keeps on switching. It starts with Pharaoh, then it says the Egyptian chased after Pharaoh. Pharaoh then is in the front, but when the Jews looked up past Pharaoh, they saw that behind Pharaoh was the Egyptian army. And that was taka terrifying, because that was not part of the original deal.
Is verse 4 mistranslated?
4?
Yeah.
I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will chase you, and I will glorify myself with Pharaoh, but called Chelo. So the Malbim says Chelo means his personal army, his personal palace guard.
It's mistranslated here.
Oh, well, I don't know. What does it say in English?
Entire army.
Oh. Well, they would say it, and his entire army. Meaning, the Malbim says the emphasis is on the his. Not called Chel Mitzrayim, not the entire Egyptian army, but Pharaoh's personal army. That's the Malbim's trick there. Hear the word? Gewaltig.